Well, good morning on Wednesday, the 17th of October. And as is widely reported, the AFL footballer Ben Cousins has been arrested for possessing a prohibited drug. He's 29. He's grappled with drugs apparently for some time. Police will allege when he appears in court tomorrow that he refused to undergo a drugs assessment. Earlier this year, remember, he was suspended by his club, the West Coast Eagles, after admitting to drug use. Then he went into rehabilitation and all of that was heavily publicised. And so for most, the comment would be, here we go again. Not with Ben Cousins, but with drugs. As you know, I'm not a fence sitter, but let me for one day sit on the fence and just offer an alternative view to this scourge and wonder out loud whether such a view should not be debated, at least. Let's face it, parents of kids at Windang Public School down near Wollongong are rightly disturbed that 3 school kids took ecstasy on Monday thinking they were lollies. And the Prime Minister and the New South Wales Police Commissioner have condemned the drug culture in Australia. The Prime Minister's right, all drugs are evil, but his own government has harm minimisation programs. We have heroin injecting rooms, needle exchange programs, hardly the response to something that's evil. But again, the other side of the coin is wherein lies the evil. Ideally, we would prefer blanket prohibition. Opponents of that would say that we had that in America in the 20s with grog. And in the end, a bootleg grog industry was dominated by the mafia. They became so wealthy and powerful, it's said they still maintain political influence in America. So those who say the prohibition strategy is wrong argue that drug lords have made so much money out of drugs, with our kids the victims, that they now own football teams, support political campaigns, and have a vested interest in keeping the drug trade illegal so that artificially inflated prices are maintained. Then there's the argument about so-called respectable people who appear to have made money out of nothing, who are former drug distributors, or who launder the money into legitimate businesses. It can be argued that the money made from drugs is corrupting society, just as the drugs are corrupting young people. To what extent has the drug trade corrupted the police force by virtue of the money involved in drugs? Not our police force, any policeman. How much crime would be eliminated if consumers no longer had to steal to buy drugs at artificially inflated prices dictated by an illegal market? So should illegality of drugs be removed to bring them under greater control by society? If something's no longer illegal, it can be regulated by government. A legal, regulated alcohol industry means the alcohol content of booze is regulated and stated on the label. And make no mistake, it's a drug. Much of the hype about drugs ignores the fact that they're dangerous because, for all we know, 50% or more of what's sold as ecstasy could be rat poison or something equally toxic. How do you legislate to stop people doing what they want to do? Many people want to take substances, including alcohol, that alters their mood or consciousness. Most people are able to do that without causing themselves or others excessive harm. It could be argued that the likelihood of harm would be reduced even further by a regulated industry, which restricts supply, provides warnings to consumers and monitors the content of what's sold. There will always be people who could be described as having addictive personalities, but it could be argued that their addictions may have more to do with their personalities than with the substance they take. Can it be argued that if drugs were regulated, it would be more difficult for addicts to acquire large quantities of them? There'd be warnings about their use or misuse. Sale could be restricted. Content and quality would meet certain standards. So on a day when yet another young person's been caught and will be humiliated and denigrated and ostracised, it might be time to debate whether all we've done in the past has progressed the issue at all. And if the situation is not improving, and it appears it's not, we might have to think of other strategies. I simply don't know, but I think the arguments are worth ventilating. I'm Alan Jones.